how can you get the most customers and expand your customer base as wide as possible? You know, I'm reading a book called How to Write Copy That Sells right here, and it got me thinking, right? So the other day I was, I live in New York City, and I was taking a ferry home, and while I was waiting for the ferry to come, I turn around and I see like a woman had to be anywhere from 19 to 21 around that age, and she's reading a book, How to Get Rich, legitimately like how to get rich. That's it, right? No technique on how to get rich, no using the internet how to get rich or how to get rich, right? And as I looked at her and I looked at her reading this book, I couldn't help but think, wow, not in a million years would I ever bought a book, How to Get Rich, right? Because at this point in my career, I know, okay, how to get rich, you know, is basically how to get more money. What's money? Money is scarce and in demand resources. Okay, so that basically means you need to get skills in order to get scarce and in demand resources in order to get money in order to get rich. So at this point, I know that, right? So when I buy books, I know, okay, how can I get a skill set? Not just how do I get rich. Like that's me 5 years ago. How do I get rich, right? But it really got me thinking because as I speak to clients, and clients, one of the biggest desire that they always come to me is, number one, I want to get clients in the door right now so I can get ROI, of course. But then again, I also want to expand my customer base so I can reach more people. And I think this story about this woman in the ferry terminal reading this book, How to Get Rich, is the answer, right? So while that author, How to Get Rich author, would have not would not get me today to buy that book, they would have probably got me 4 years ago to buy that book, right? When I was just starting my journey and I wanted to know everything that I could. Now, what's more interesting though is that if that author released a book, How to Write Better Copy so you can land more clients, right? That's a more specific type of promise. I would buy that book because I know copywriting is important to get rich. And that's the amazing thing, and that's what I tell my clients is that when you're doing advertising, you have to consider what Eugene Schwartz calls the stages of awareness, right? It's most aware, product aware, solution aware, problem aware, unaware, right? So that book, How to Get Rich, was toward the end of the spectrum of problem aware, right? So most aware to unaware, and that book was more problem aware, right? And what that means is that when you're problem aware, you're not as sophisticated in the market, right? So that means you either just got a problem. So for example, this girl, maybe she just graduated college or is about to go to college or is just in college, and she realizes that, wow, college, I'm a poor broke college student. I can't, I have 21 food credits a week, and outside of my food credits, I can't buy a damn thing, right? So maybe she went to Barnes and Noble, like, how do I get rich, right? So she just got that problem. So she's unsophisticated. Now, after she reads that book, maybe the author says, in order to get rich, you need to learn this, 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 this. For example, maybe you need to learn copy, you need to learn advertising, you need to learn persuasion, for example. Now, that woman is not really going to go buy another book, How to Get Rich. Now she's going to buy a book, How to Be More Persuasive, How to Write Better Copy. Now she goes more into solution aware, right? Now she had a problem. She understands, okay, in order to solve my problem, I need to learn persuasion and copywriting. Now she goes to Barnes and Noble, gets a book about persuasion and copywriting. Now she reads that, boom, boom, boom. And she's like, okay, wow. In order, okay, I now know about persuasion. Now, in order to do that, I need to buy this program or that program or whatever. So how you can apply this to get more customers and get more money in your bank account is consider your market, right? Consider different phases of where they are. And you have to create messaging to every single segment of that market. And really to drive this home, I love rap music, right? And there's a rapper in New York called 6ix9ine, and I really appreciate his marketing skills. I mean, this guy has really built his, he's only been around for a year now, and he's really built a lot of buzz just off of beef, right? Like beef, like rap beef, like arguing and starting fights and this type of stuff. So early in his career, again, it's been a year, but let's say the first few months or whatever, he made a lot of like gangster rap and started a lot of arguments online and went to do interviews and was very combative and abrasive. And he got a certain segment of the market. Okay, people who like that stuff, like the fight, like the drama. Then after like 2-3 months, he came out with like a softer love song. Okay, cool. Now he he gets that part of the market. Then he just did a song with Nicki Minaj. Okay, now he gets the Nicki Minaj part of the market. And you have to think the same thing with your marketing. Consider yourself an artist, right? I mean, there's a popular saying about how you have to consider yourself like a media company now. You have to always put out content, things like that. No, you're an artist, right? There's a famous book by Seth Godin called All Marketers Are Liars, and it talks about how you have to change people's worldviews, right? Everybody has their own worldview on how the world works and things like that. In order for you to be like a Genghis Khan and really spread your message out to the world, you have to create different messaging for different worldviews, right? And that's what people forget is when people say put out content, put out content, put out content. It's not putting out content just to put out content. It's how can you relate to as much people as you can without seeming, non-genuine or a sellout, so you can touch people's worldviews as much as possible, just like 6ix9ine did, and get as much people into your fan base as possible. So I thought that was a pretty interesting thought. I wanted to kind of get that down for you guys. I know a lot of you guys watching this want to do marketing and things like that, either for yourself or for clients. So hopefully that mindset helps, and I will be dropping more nuggets like this. So comment below, let me know when it comes to marketing, what's your biggest pain, problem, or frustration. I'd love to hear that out and kind of give you some advice around that. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.